We are a holistic, diverse ministry for the entire family, grounded in love in order to save the lost, disciple believers, build strong families, and be change agents for Christ in the community. We call ourselves life changers because when you connect with us, our core values of the welcome, the worship, the word, and the witness will change your life forever. Need a change? The new life experience is simply life changing. Welcome to eChurch. Tonight, it takes two. Did you hear what I just said? It takes two, baby. It takes two. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. That's what we're going to teach you tonight. You can be turning to Luke 10, 1 and following as I just have a little preliminary conversation with you about a few things. The first thing is this: don't you forget the night of praise and prayer. Don't forget the night of praise and prayer. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be right here in our awesome sanctuary. There are going to be praise teams from around the region. There are going to be pastors from around the region. And we're going to be lifting his name up in praise and prayer on the last Friday in July. The last Friday in July. Don't miss it, right here. The other thing I want to just share with you very quickly is this. It's time to give your tithes and offerings. Now, life changers, you already know. You know what to do. You know where to go to the links. You already know. The church app, Givelify, all of those apps that you can give, just Cash App. You can give, text to give, all of those ways that you can get, or you can just come by the church. If you're just thumbing and you say, oh my, what's going on? I'm about to get a word here. Yes, you are. I'm not asking for your tithe. If you're a member of another church, your tithe belongs there. But if your heart is touched that you might want to plant a seed, both of us are going to grow because you're good soil and we are good soil. So I just believe that. So let's give you tithes and offerings before we get into the word. Tonight, we're continuing in this series on It's on the House. And tonight, it takes two. It takes two. Look at Luke. Turn to Luke 10, 1 and following. Luke 10, 1 and following. I'm going to read from the NIV translation. Follow along in the version of your choice. After this, the Lord appointed 72 others and sent them 2 by 2 ahead of him to every town and place where he was about to go. He told them, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. Go, I am sending you out like lambs among wolves. Do not take a purse or a bag or sandals, and do not greet anyone on the road." Jesus talking now. "When you enter a house, first say, 'Peace to this house.' If a man of peace is there, your peace will rest on him. If not, it will return to you. Stay in that house, eating and drinking whatever they give you, for the worker deserves his wages. Do not move around from house to house. Now, when you enter a town and are welcome, eat what is set before you. Heal the sick who are there, and tell them, the kingdom of God is near. But when you enter a town and are not welcome, go into its streets and say, even the dust of your town that sticks to our feet, we wipe off against you. Yet be sure of this, the kingdom of God is near. I tell you, it will be more bearable on the day for Sodom than for that town." Wow. Let's break this down. It takes two. It takes two. There comes a time in all of our lives when we have to learn to do things on our own. Whether that means our first steps, our first go at riding a bike, our first go at roller skating. I remember both of those. Neither went well. I did end up learning how to ride a bike. Not so much on the skates, though. All right. The first go at going to school on your own. The first time you went off to college on your own. First time you set up your own house, your own apartment, your own condo, your own single family dwelling, however the case may be. You can't help but feel both excited and a little bit frightened, anxious, when you have to stand on your own 2 feet and learn how to do things by yourself. I wonder how those disciples must have felt as the first time Jesus is saying, boys, going out here on your own. On your own here. I picked my 12, but now I'm adding 70 more, going out here 2 by 2. Now, up to now, Jesus had been doing most of the hard work on his own. He's been doing it. He's been taking the tip of the spear. He has been the one doing the teaching, and they have been the ones doing the listening and the learning. Now it's time for them to practice what he's been preaching. How about that? I'm sure they were wondering what places they were going to go, what it would be like, how people would treat them. Will they be made welcome? And I am sure that more than one of them would have been asking themselves, on earth, how in the world on earth are we going to pull this off? How are we going to reach Jesus' standard? Go out here and do what? Are you kidding me? They seem very badly equipped too. Look at this. Are they really ready? What did Jesus tell them to do? To go evangelize. No staff, no bag, no bread, no money, no extra tunic. Just get at it. Just go out here and get at it. They are equipped with one thing, though. One thing that they're equipped with. They are equipped with the power and the authority of Jesus Christ. To do the work of Jesus Christ. To be ministers of reconciliation. Stop. Hold the phone. Let's pause and make a point. All of us, and I'm not even to the preaching part yet, the text is telling all of us are ministers of reconciliation. He sent them all out. It wasn't just the bishop, the first lady, the deacons, the ministers. They're everybody. It takes 2. Now, how did they go out? How did they travel? We already know they were traveling light. They weren't heavy. Didn't have several Louis Vuitton bags packed. Didn't have to pay for extra because they didn't have any extra baggage. Notice this. But did they get paired off? Did James and John get paired off together? Did Peter get with his brother Andrew? Who was with Judas? Both of them. I mean, how did this thing happen? Evangelism is one of those words that when you bring it up in the church, everybody starts looking at their feet and their watches, looking in the sky, anywhere but to the preacher. Anywhere but to, what, huh? What we gonna do? We gonna do what? There's always something more urgent than and more pressing than passing out some tracts, passing out the gospel. Always. That's what the first thing comes to mind. And then you're going to send me with who? Come on, hang in there. We're not to the preaching part yet. I just need you to see what's going on in this text. There just never seems to be the right time and the right moment for people to really do with what Jesus said do, the last thing he said to do it. And that was what? Go make disciples. Evangelism can be daunting, but like the 12, we too are called to go do it. We're called to do it, to preach and to heal and to lay hands and to believe God is going to do a great work. We have a very powerful First Lady here. God has healing in her hands, but he also has healing in your hands. So often we say, if I can just get First Lady to pray. All of us are called to pray, to heal, to share the gospel. Let's look at the text. It says, it takes 2. It takes 2. 3 things I want you to grab in this. 3 things, just 3. The first one is this. Evangelism is a lifestyle, not an occasional activity. As I was making the point about how we like to say, all right, I need healing, I need this, I'm going to reach out, first I'm going to reach out to bishop, I'm going to reach out to a deacon, an elder, whatever, no matter the case may be, I'm not sure I have that. No, wait a minute. Let's understand something. Evangelism and believing God is a lifestyle, not an occasional activity. And that's why we kind of look at this text. We look at this text as an activity. That's not what Jesus is really putting. Now, I know he brings them back and says, hey, what happened? What went down? They says, you know what? Healing went down. We delivered devils out of people. That's what went down. All of these things went down. Jesus says the main thing, getting ahead of myself a little bit, is that their names are written in the Lamb's Book of Life. But here's the point. We are mostly event driven. Now, we do have events at New Life. And like I just said at the very beginning, we have an event that's coming up that is by design for you to go out 2 by 2, if you will, hand out a free ticket to somebody and say, come to just a night of worship, a night of wonderful music, a night of prayer, a night that we can hang out together. That's what we want to do. Yeah, that's what we want to do. But that's a lifestyle. Make it a part of the lifestyle. That's an event, but we're setting that event up so that it might reach people in the lifestyle that you're living. It is a lifestyle. What do we mean by as a lifestyle? The second thing that we mean in this first point, that it being a lifestyle, it is evangelism is the life that emanates out of me. I am a walking testimony. He said, well, Bishop, you know what? I wasn't healed from cancer. I didn't have this miraculous thing that took place in my life. No, maybe you weren't. And thank God that you didn't have that testimony. You weren't tested in that area. But you did transition from BC to AC. From before Christ to after Christ, to living a life of sin to living a life of salvation. You can share that. That's your lifestyle. Share that lifestyle. The second thing is this: evangelism is more about actions than words. It's more about actions than words. It's come here, Samaritan woman. I have to go tell them that this man told me everything about my life. It's about action. It is about who I am. Very connected to the first thing that we made. It's my being. It's my being. It is the fact that I'm being. And in my being, activities will grow out of my being. I want to challenge you right now. Have you ever reached out to somebody that did not know Jesus and the pardon of their sins and invited them to dinner? Have you ever reached out to the person that's on your reserved nerves at work and you just say, I cannot manage, I can't do them anymore? Have you ever thought about, you know what, let me give an act of kindness. Just a little act of kindness. Think about it. It's about me doing something. It's about me being, my lifestyle. It's also about me doing something. Here's the third thing. Successful evangelism involves relationships. It takes two. I'm convinced that when we read this text, we see that what? It's relationships. He sent them out in relationship. Don't take your sandals. Let's read the text again, the 4th verse. Do not take a purse or a bag or sandals, and do not greet anyone on the road. In other words, I need you two to be in relationships. I need a relationship that is interdependent. A great example of working together. You remember the movie, The Lord of the Rings, when the two were working together to get to a common goal? Well, the common goal, of course, we know, is to share the gospel. But I just want to reflect on that. Check this out. I think it'll help you.
Go back, Sam! I'm going to Mordor alone.
Of course you are. And I'm coming with you!
You can't swim! Sam! Sam! I made a promise, Mr. Frodo. A promise. Don't you leave him, Samwise Gamgee. And I don't mean to. I don't mean to.
Oh, Sam. Come on. Nothing. No veil between me and the wheel of fire. I can see him with my waking eyes. Then let us be rid of it. Once and for all. Come on, Mr. Frodo. I can't carry it for you. But I can carry you. Come on!
I need you two to be in relationships. I need a relationship that is interdependent. I need you to be able to form relationships. Notice what he says also. He says this, he said, now, if a man of peace is there, the fifth verse, let me go back up to the fifth verse. When you enter a house, first say, peace be unto this house. Peace to this house. Shalom. All right? And then he says, now, if a person greets you, if they have peace, it will respond, it will come to them. If there isn't, then your peace will remain with you. You're not going to lose anything. In other words, go in building relationship. Notice this. Notice this. It says, stay in that house. Stay in that house. Eat and drink whatever they put in front of you. Have them to fix you a plate. Are we not the fixingest plate people in the world? You know what? Fix me a plate after you done eaten up everything else. But that's all right. It does what? It shows that there is relationships. Story, I'll come back. I remember when I was a little kid and PK and I just remember us having to eat at so many different people's homes. And for whatever reason, I mean, it just seemed like I was always hungry. Oh my God, I was always hungry. And so when we got there, I was just so enamored with the spread of food. Well, you know what? They loved that little boy. I was the baby in the family. They loved that little boy. Why? Because I just enjoyed their food. It caused a relationship to grow. It caused a connection to grow. People could easily relate to. People love for you to love what they love. Have you think about this? Think about this. Dale Carnegie said that you can make more friends in 2 months than you can in 2 years if you are interested in what they're interested in, as opposed to asking them to be interested in what you're interested in. How do you break the ice when you're sharing the gospel? You break the ice by finding out what are they interested in, and then you bridge that. The fact is that when we look at this text, that it takes two, we see that Jesus said, look, I need you all to go out 2 by 2. And then in all of that, the thing that they were equipped with the most was the authority. The authority. What do we mean by that? Let me help you with that, and then we're going to close. They were equipped with a commissioning. A commissioning. The Great Commission is what we call it. The Great Commission is this. When I served in the military, it was just an excellent opportunity to serve my country. And I really, really loved my time in the military. I was a commissioned officer. There's several levels of service in terms of rank. There is the non-commissioned officer, there's the commissioned officer, there is the senior officer, then there is the flag officer. Each one has a different level of authority or commissioning. Some come from the Congress, others come from the Senate, like a flag officer. And then it is now rectified by the president. All of these things comes from that level. A general officer from the Senate, and then the president. A senior officer, the Senate and the Congress. A field officer, a company grade officer, a non-commissioned officer, goes all the way down. At different levels, there are different authorities. Here's my point. We have been commissioned by Jesus Christ. There is no greater authority that he extends than his. We then execute in his name. And we do this 2 by 2. It takes 2. Well, you say, well, you know what about when I'm just by myself? You're never alone because he's with you. He's with you. So I want to just challenge you right now. I want to challenge you to go out, reach somebody and say, come with me. Come with me to the night of praise, the night of prayer, that you might just enjoy the presence of the Lord. Let the music do the rest. You just get them there and watch what God does in the midst. The Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. I'll see you at the night of praise. God bless you. And don't forget, if you weren't able to give at the beginning, you can still give now. Your tithes and offers. They'll put all of the links in the chat area, and they'll put all of the links also on the lower thirds of the screen. God bless you. I'll see you Sunday with more word. Bye now.
Life Changers, before you close eChurch, don't forget to give your tithes, offering, and generosity matching. There are multiple ways to give. May God bless you, and thank you for being a part of eChurch. IDEX Media does a lot. From IDEX Photography to IDEX Films. We help create forever memories and forever impressions. Image a nation, image a world. IDEX Media.